Good morning and welcome to the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell if you haven't already. And today we are having a go at my Saxo VTR. We're changing the drive shaft and a few other bits and pieces, brakes, all round, the oil pressure sensor, and doing a full service on it. So let's get on with the video. So I've already got the wheel off and jacked it up. So the next job is to take the hub nut off. And with these cars, or with these alloys, the centre doesn't pop out, so I can't drop it down and use the weight of the car against it. So what I'm going to do is get a big screwdriver and stick it through the hole, and then get me 30mm socket and my big bar. Oh, that was dead easy. Is it? No. There we go. And that's it slackened off. So if you haven't got the removable centre, you can just use this trick. So now that should be loose. There we go. And we will... There we go. And then that's loose. Right, we'll leave it on. And the next job is to remove the nut on the top of there. Oh, the clamp bolt here, and remove the bottom the wishbone, so that we can then pull the hub forward and hopefully extract it. It's got a secondary joint up there that we'll have to remove as well, and then pull it out of the gearbox. But the reason that I'm changing it is A, it's rotten, and B, I've got a load of the clip broke. Where is it? The clip on the gaiter here has broken, and then we've got an ingress of dirt and rubbish in here that's basically acts like sandpaper and has ruined the inside of there, because it's taken me a while to get around to this. So we've been using the car with the dodgy boot for a while, and it's time to put a new one on. It's the trouble when you haven't got time to do stuff. So I thought I'd do the whole service and brakes and everything all at once, and then we will be alright for a good time ahead. Right, so the next stage is to take this bolt out. So we've got ourselves a 16mm spanner for that side, for the nut side, and a 17mm socket for the other side. So let's get this undone. There we go. Right, wiggle it a bit either way, because sometimes it gets a bit stiff. There we go. Right, so let's remove the nut. Sorry if in the background you can hear a fan. It's blooming cold out here. It's -1 outside, so it's not far off out here because there's no heating or anything. So I've stuck a fan heater on to keep myself warm, but hopefully it doesn't affect the audio too much and annoy you guys. Right. Oh. This is where I need a stand for my camera, because at the moment I'm holding it. So, see if we can wedge it in here. And hopefully that'll be alright. And you can see what's going on. So before we remove the whole thing, check it's loose. Yeah. Alright, take the nut off, and there's the nut and the bolt. Stick that in the tray that we've got, along with our oil pressure sensor, which we'll be doing in a bit, and the brake bolts. So let's stick them over here, and hopefully we'll be able to remove this without too much bother. So let's get the ball joint splitter and hope we don't damage this, because I haven't got a spare one. So, oh, that seems to have done it. Ooh. Right. It's broken it, but it's been a little bit of a bugger to get out. It's the trouble when you're working on these older cars, you end up with everything seized. There we go. I got it. At least I think it did. Oh, there's some tension on that. Right. There we go. I've got that out. Right. So now we'll remove our hub nut. Just there, that's loose. So undo that, and then that, because you always do, because they damage the sides when you hammer it onto the spline, you always replace that part. So hopefully there's a new one in the box. Right, let me take this off. There we go. Right, so that is the drive shaft out of the hub, and the bottom wishbone. So there's a little bit of movement in the bottom ball joint, but there's no damage to the rubber or anything, so we should be alright. So next we'll move on to the next joint, and then we'll pull it out of the gearbox. Right, see if we can see this. Right, there we go. So, next, I've got to try and remove the bolt, well, most of the way, that bolt, and there's one at the top. I don't know if this is a very good angle because I'm lying on the floor under the car. But if you look, this piece of rubber isn't actually where it's supposed to be. So, that's not going to be doing it any good, is it? So it's allowing rubbish to be getting in there. So, that's where we're removing it from, up here. Just here, that's the drive shaft going into the gearbox. Right, so it's an 11mm socket on here, and I think, that you just slacken this off enough to be able to turn the end so that you can then get the ball bearings, the race out. Of that hole there, that piece that's moving at the end should turn when I've got enough slack on it, so that I'm able to just pull out at the drive shaft. So let's hope and pray that that's right. So I've got one top and bottom, and then we will come back. Right, so we've slackened that off here, and then here we've turned it 180 degrees round, so now it's not holding the bearing setting. So now we just need to prise this away from here, and also it'll come out of the gearbox, so hopefully we don't get too much oil all over the place, but we'll put a container underneath so that it'll catch anything that does drip. But we'll see. Right, let's get this off. Get this off, and then we can get and fit the new one. So, back in a minute. So, we've pulled it out, and there is plenty of gearbox oil coming out, so at least I know there was some in there. Right, excuse me. Which means, well, I might as well just top the lot up, let it all drain out, and then we'll fit the new one. So, we've got the old drive shaft, which wasn't too hard to take out because it's got no clips or anything to pull it off. But yeah, so there's the old bearings, a bit of rubber just there which is loose, and I think it should be there to hold it. But we'll have a look at the new one and see how easy it is to go back in. Shouldn't be too hard. Right, well, the things you have to do, eh? So, not quite sure what that rubber thing did because there isn't one on the new shaft. There's the nice new shiny shaft, drive shaft, and that's what we're going to be fitting back in. So, yeah, I might just clean up the rubber off the other one and insert that back on just here. So, there we go. And do the brakes and everything else, all the parts are here. They came yesterday, so yeah, we'll get on with the rest of the job. Right then, now that all the oil stopped draining, we will fit the new drive shaft, and I'll just put that, clean that rubber bit up and put it on, so hopefully it's in the right place. Right, let's try and thread this through here and back into the gearbox. There we go, so there's the new drive shaft in, and took a bit of wiggling, and that is hellishly tight, that nut. It's 250 Newton meters. Yeah, Newton whatever's. NM. Newton meters. So literally on the limit of my torque wrench. Literally only goes up to 250. So right on the limit. Well, let's hammer over this nut so that it's secure, so there's no chance it can come undone, and then we will get on with the brakes. So new brake pads, new brake disc, and we'll do an oil change and everything on the gearbox, oil change on the engine. Yeah, let's just get on with it. So there we go, we've pinched that off with a screwdriver, a slight angle, and then hammered it in, and that'll stop it from spinning. I've done both sides. Time to stick back on the caliper, back onto there, put new discs on, new pads on. Probably don't need new pads, but I might as well do it all at once. And I've ordered a new liner for in here, so that won't be too bad. There's the old one, it's a bit rough and ready, so we'll put it back on until we get the new one. So find all the clips, one there. Yeah, we'll find all the clips, and it's snapped off here. So right, that's the end of that. I'm going to get on and do a bit more work, and I might add a bit more to this video later, so catch you in a bit. Right, so I've finished off the car. As you can see, it's all back together, and yeah, it got a lot colder after I did the drive shaft, so basically I just got on with the job and didn't get a chance to video everything because I just wanted to get done, in truth. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell and give us a thumbs up, so it all helps. And yeah, car's a lot healthier, a lot better. So we'll get off and we'll catch you in the next one. See you in a bit.